Indeed, a very good evening to you and a warm welcome to Sport On.
Eliud, thank you so much, and karibu sana to NTV, and thank you so much for coming in. First of all, congratulations for breaking your own world record.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel to do it? How does it feel now that you've had maybe a few weeks to look back at it, to reflect on it? How does it feel? Has it settled in that you pushed the record further away from everyone else?
It has settled really well, but the beauty is that the settlement and the breaking of world record actually has inspired many people.
And maybe what keeps you going, Eliud? I mean, you've done it all. Olympic champion, world record, sub-2-hour marathon. What is it that makes you wake up every morning and say, I have got to go and train, I've got to go on and go on ahead? What is that? What drives you?
What keeps me going is the love of sport. What keeps me going is the inspiration that I'm instilling to the next generation, to the whole human family. That I'm receiving a lot of text messages in all my social media channels. People actually embrace what I'm doing, and that's what actually makes me to jump out of the bed 5 in the morning and go for a run.
Eliud, when we were watching the race, I can tell you for a fact you were riveted. You were just transfixed on the television. But for you, at what point did you realize that the record was within reach?
From the first kilometer, actually, it was positive that I was inside the world record. Actually, the last, maybe from 35 to 40, actually a little bit, some seconds actually went off. But all in all, I was really inside the normal world record, which I set 4 years ago in Bali. So it was, I was inside the world record all through.
Okay. Eliud, talking about books, I think there's a time we interacted briefly on Zoom, and you mentioned you read like I don't know how many pages in a month. How many pages do you read in a month? Or is it in a week?
I'm trying to read 20 pages a day.
Okay. 20 pages in a day?
Yes.
Okay. And
can be translated to 3 books.
3 books.
Actually a month.
3 books a month. So is this, do you read it in the morning? Do you read it after a run? Or do you read it in the evening? What's your reading schedule like? And do you like music in the background? Do you like silence?
I always read when I get time.
Mm-hmm.
I normally don't have time because of my heavy training.
Mm-hmm.
But normally the afternoons and after training for 5 o'clock, I just jump into and actually get some few pages actually and read it.
Eliud, today is World Health Mental Day. It's today. And I know you speak about the wholeness of a human being. You say you've got to be holistic. How important is mental health to athletes and to us in general?
Mental health in general is important. We should be actually 100% healthy mentally. Physically, actually, you should be healthy, but you know what drives the whole body is mind. And if your mind is not healthy, then actually your body is not healthy. So it's critical
that you take care of your mental health.
Absolutely, yes. If you are actually healthy mentally, then your body actually will be healthy. Because there is no way that your physical part can be above your mental part.
Very true. Just pick up on what you've said. Of course, you're in a high-pressure profession as an athlete, and for most sports personalities watching, what would you advise them to do based on your own personal experience? How do you able to manage that? Because sometimes that pressure can get to you as an athlete. What would you suggest from your own personal experience? Just a few things somebody can do as an athlete.
Pressure actually is there, but I urge all the athletes and even general public to handle pressure in a positive way. Pressure can come in a negative and a positive way. If you don't know how to handle it, it can be negative. If you know how to handle it, then it can be positive. But you need to accept where that pressure came from, what did you do in order for the pressure to come in. If you understand it, then you will be able actually to handle pressure. You'll be able to calm down and handle your things in a good way. First is understanding yourself, defining yourself in your language you understand, and understand what you are doing and the genesis of all this pressure. If you get actually right, then you are on the right way.
I mean, you've been so successful. Is there what would you say is the key to success? Is there a secret? Is there a catchword? Is there a phrase that you'd say, this is what you do?
Success actually is not a rocket science. Success is doing those small things that can make you to feel it's boring. And when you do all the time, also all those small things called habits will lead you to success. That's the secret.
So the key thing is to continuously do the same thing, even if it's boring. Create a habit that gets you to success.
I think it stems from that phrase, the disciplined ones are free. I think self-discipline is a very, very important component, I think, with this, in terms of what has been a contributing factor to success. Just to ride on what he's asked, the athletes who are watching as well, what would you advise young athletes who are coming up as well, who are inspired by your performance, who are inspired by your work ethic? What would you tell them, like an athlete who is watching, wherever he is watching, within Kenya and without? What would you advise them in terms of their training? What key thing would you tell them to specifically work on?
I want to tell you that there are two types of athletes, the professional athletes and the amateur athletes. And we have two types of, an amateur athlete can win a medal, a professional athlete can win a medal, but they are different. Professional is the one who is respecting his duties and following to the letter. An amateur is an athlete actually who is actually training, but is full of life. What contributes to life actually is controlling his mind. That's the difference. I want to urge them to be the real professionals. Be self-disciplined, define themselves in their own language they understand. And when I say amateur and professional, I think people can mistake what I am saying.
True.
But it's a fact. It's a real professional. Those who are not professionals actually are up and down for life. Professionals are there to do their daily duties, work on it to the letter, and that's the only way.
There's a quick turnover nowadays. An athlete comes, 2 years, 3 years, they're out. What do you think they should do to make sure that someone has longevity? You know, like what you have achieved. Some of you guys have done it really well. What would be your advice to those guys who are unable to stay on for long?
Longevity is the key, and how to get longevity is that they should actually think on preparation and planning, and they should not put money on their minds. The moment you put actually money in your mind, that's why actually your longevity will be cut off. And many of them have done that, and that's why they have never go as long as they think they will go. And above all is that they should treat sport as a profession. The moment they realize that athletics or sport is profession, they can go for a long time. They can even run for 20 years. It's like any other job that you are doing. The moment you respect the job that you are doing, the moment you build your career, then you will go for long. The moment they discover today that running or athletics actually is a real career, the moment they discover and treat actually athletics as a profession, longevity actually will knock in.
Eliud, there's an elephant in the room in Kenyan athletics. Every so often, there's a case. There's someone has, there's a doping case, there's another doping case, and they're becoming more and more and more. What advice would you give to our athletes? Because this seems like a problem that just won't go away.
I think people actually are topping reason number one is to perform well and get money. But there is no shortcut for performance and shortcut for getting money. They say it's better to go slow, sure, but in a successful way. So I urge actually the young generation, especially those who are actually under 25, to train in a good way, love the sport, and the sport will treat them in a good way. I trust that if you top, then guiltiness will kill you. You know, the moment you will be in your deathbed, then you will die very fast because you are killed.
Most people will be interested in finding out. Eliud, first of all, I'd want to ask, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is
Yes.
ugali.
Ugali.
Yes.
Ugali, what would you have it with greens?
With green, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you listen to music?
Absolutely.
You're a big
yes.
music fan. Who's your favorite musician?
Kelly Clarkson.
Do you have a favorite song the song that fires you up?
Yes. What doesn't kill you make you strong.
That sounds similar to the smile you smile between 35 and 40.
Exactly.
It sounds like that's exactly what it
Let's
is.
just Eliud, I'm always interested in finding out at that particular point, 35 kilometers, when you smile, is it something that came to you as you were running competitively, or you realize your goal is within reach?
You know, if you want to enjoy running, you need to smile and enjoy running. The only way to enjoy sport is actually you smile and get your mind on the road and move on. You know, the moment you divert your mind, then you lose the seconds. But the moment you block all what's coming in and focus on the road, that's the only way to move, then enjoy.
Just to ask you one final question, Eliud. You said recently that you'd like to run with former United States President Barack Obama. Is there any other person you'd also like to run with?
I will go with one person at a time.
Okay.
When I get time to run with Obama, because I believe Obama is a real inspiration to the whole leaders in our country and outside our country. I need to run with him, share. You know, when you are running, then ideas are coming in. I need to run with him, share the ideas actually on the run, put it on the paper, and life will continue.
Okay.
Yes.